A very good evening to you tuned into UBC TV. Welcome to News Tonight. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. Let's have a look at the headlines as we start. Senior 1 selections start with schools maintaining points as previous years. Kalangala fishermen oppose army withdrawal. Wuhan shuts public transport over outbreak, while Vipers Sports Club have sacked head coach and technical team. Muhammad Mugalu joins us in just a few seconds for sign language interpretation, and this is what we have for you tonight. First Lady and Minister for Education and Sport, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has met a delegation from Austria with whom they discussed possible cooperation in the area of technical, vocational education and training. The Austrian business delegation, led by Miss Edith Predov, the commercial counselor at the Austrian embassy based in Nairobi, included host Bernard and Reinhard Brasder, who are representatives from the VACE Engineering GmbH, a renowned Austrian engineering and consulting company for the industry. The Austrians were in Uganda to discuss possible areas of cooperation with the government and about the Austrian soft loan provisions at the disposal of Austrian companies for project engagement in Uganda. Mrs. Museveni informed the delegation at State House in Nakasero that Uganda is currently trying to equip and train students in its 139 technical, vocational education and training institutions, but is still challenged by the lack of instructors with the hands-on experience. She said that the Education Ministry is looking forward to having partnerships with people who have expertise and skills in the different specialities to train the Ugandan instructors who will pass on the skills to the learners. Austrian Embassy's commercial counsellor Edith Predov informed the meeting that the VACE company, which is one of the 65 Austrian companies interested in investing in Uganda, has more than 1,000 highly qualified engineers and specialists with 30 years experience in education and training worldwide. Bernard Host, the vision manager of education and training for the VACE, said that their company specializes in the modernization and upgrading of technical and vocational institutes and universities according to the needs of the industry.
People who are hands-on technicians who can train our technical students. So that is
from Austria, Marseille, in the education field, mainly in the TV.
I beg your pardon. New Life Autism Foundation, a non-government organization, has petitioned the Speaker of Parliament to fund victims suffering autism in Uganda. The group, led by founder Susan Kwizera, told Kadaga that there is a need for a holistic approach to provide for families and children with autism. The Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, promised to refer the matter to the Committee on Equal Opportunities, as we see in this report.
Center Home for Autism, which is found in
autism, a brain-based disorder that affects a person's behavior as well as social and communication skills, is tickling the minds of Ugandans. A section of non-governmental organization dubbed New Life Autism Foundation wants Parliament to intervene into the matter.
And the second April is the World Autism Day. So, Madam Speaker, in any way, please, can you think about maybe the what you did for the albinism, and we can also have particularly autism.
Let's begin with inviting some officials and talk about autism in the country, set up a committee whereby those committee can work with people on ground.
The group, led by their founder Susan Kwizera, is concerned about how autism is given a deaf ear in Uganda. In their petition, Susan informed the Speaker of Parliament to increase the Special Needs and Inclusive Education Department budget to facilitate the mandates regarding autism in Uganda.
Also to facilitate research into actual special needs statistics as issues in order to build up-to-date national database regarding autism in Uganda.
The Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, tasked the Parliamentary Committee on Equal Opportunities to engage the stakeholders for a harmonious ground that addresses needs of the petitioners.
With every budget, there should be a section dealing with the minorities, dealing with special needs, to explain how have they been handled. So I hope this Chair, this is an opportunity during this budget to start asking new questions about the special needs, especially now on the issue of autism.
Maybe government of Uganda must begin thinking about these children and be able to train them, because they become useful citizens at a certain point of time, than leaving them just there without giving them a budget allocation which is adequate. Because if you see at the Ministry of Education, there's only a 1% budget, and this budget does not cater for all the disabilities.
Daniel Mugoya reporting for UBC News.
Thank you.
Preparations are in high gear at the Mandela National Stadium ahead of the National Resistance Movement NRM Delegates Conference to be held on Saturday. Mandela National Stadium, where the conference will be held, is being dotted yellow with the party colors as every service provider is putting all its best to the dot. Over 14,000 delegates from village to national level, including the opposition politicians, diaspora and party promoters, are warming up to attend the national conference meeting slated for the 25th of January. Central Executive Committee, headed by the national chairperson, President Museveni, was held on Thursday at State House in Entebbe. Meanwhile, the National Executive Committee is slated for Friday, still at State House in Entebbe, followed by the National Delegates Conference, which will be held on Saturday. UBC TV will broadcast all these live. Court has once again adjourned delivering judgment of a case involving city businessman Hassan Basajja Balaba and 19 others for the 16th time to an open date. A fully constituted panel at the Constitutional Court showed up, led by Justice Kenneth Kakuru, who stated that there are a few nitty-gritties, especially with the ever-emerging issues around the matter, that require maximum attention to avoid legal battles. Isaac Semakade of Legal Brains Trust, the main petitioner in the case, contends that the matter is such a hot potato before terming it a corruption barometer for the judiciary. In the case, the petitioner Legal Brains Trust seeks orders of the Constitutional Court to compel Hassan Basajja Balaba and 19 others, including his bankers Orient, Tropical, UBA and Baroda, to refund 169 billion which they received from the central bank in 2011 as compensation following the cancellation of contracts the tycoon had entered into with the defunct Kampala capital city to own and manage Owino, Nakasero, Shauriako and Nakawa markets, plus the Constitutional Square.
Next time you will see the notice, you know that yes, that is it. So please bear with us, because at times it's not good to work under too much pressure. We can end up making a few mistakes. Bear with us. This petition is adjourned to a date to be given to the parties.
Much obliged, my lords. So the judges know that they will be judged. Their corruption credentials are on the weighing scale. Every comma, every full stop, every undotted T, every undotted I and uncrossed T will communicate corruption credentials. This case is a corruption barometer for the judiciary of Uganda. I am so pleased that these judges get the point, because it could be a career breaker, a career ender, or a career maker for any one of them.
In definitely adjourned. Interesting. Senior 1 selection in other news. Senior 1 selection exercises started at Lugogo Uganda Manufacturers Association showgrounds, with almost schools maintaining cut-off points like the previous years. State Minister for Primary Education Rosemary Seninde opened the exercise and urged head teachers to manage conditions that deter students from joining their schools.
Head teachers of secondary schools and principals of tertiary institutions across the country have converged at Lugogo Uma Main Hall to participate in the selection and placement exercise for Senior 1 students. The selection exercise has started. The hall is full, but allocation of tables to particular schools is lacking.
Schools are not having the seats, or they've not placed dizzy papers so that we can identify where to sit. So that's why you are finding that I'm from Bali, but I'm sitting in a place of Ginger.
564,856 students will be placed, with 231,120 in private schools, 204,916 in government USE schools, 284,004 non-USE, while 4,308 are expected to be placed in Bidvet at the end of the two-day exercise.
Definitely some of the children failed, okay? Those who are in U, those who did not attempt the X are definitely going to be removed from some of these numbers that we are talking about.
Cut-off points for most of the schools that include Kawempe Muslim Secondary, 7 aggregate for boys, 8 for girls, Mary Hill High School, aggregate 6, Musesa Secondary School in Bali, 28 aggregates.
Our list has about 2,000 that give us first choice, but they have given us 108 only. So much others have been placed in our schools. The 26, and the performance was not all that bad. And the computer here, they've given us 212.
But we have the capacity of absorbing as many as 400 in Senior 1. Our cutoff for both boys and girls is 10 aggregates.
Sunday Secondary School have increased their cut-off points compared to last year. Wakiso School for the Deaf has taken students of up to aggregate 28, and Adumu Secondary School in Arua plan to increase their cut-off points to 20 aggregate next year.
So the cut-off points for this year, we are taking 14 for girls and 14 for girls and 15 for boys.
Capacity in each class is 40, so we received 29. We expect to add on to reach that capacity.
Point is still low. It is 28. We want to bring it down. Yeah, by next year, I think we should be able to slot better cut-off points.
Head teachers and principals here in the selection exercise are served with a selected list, non-selected list, and selling list. Now, the Ministry of Education attributes the non-selected list to the poor guidance by the parents and the teachers at the time when these students are making choices for schools.
If they are not guided properly, that's when you hear of those who are non-selected, because the computer, after distributing them to their choices, it will leave some of them out. Now the selection out there will therefore have a selling time for those who are non-selected.
So schools need to commit to proper management and administration to achieve quality education instead of looking at money.
The grant for secondary education or for our children in secondary schools has been increased from 47,000 to 55,000. But like I said, it is not the only money that government is giving to an individual child.
Ministry of Education emphasizes that school administrators should pin selling lists of students after the exercise for parents to know the schools their children have been posted. I'm Nafka Farida, reporting in Lugogo.
Thank you so much, Farida, and we wish the candidates all the best. Let's take a very short break. We have more on return. Please keep around.
That's my little angel Rose. Together with millions of other children, my daughter Rose is assured of learning something new every day. Moses, my husband, just like many other commercial farmers, has his business supported so he can provide for us. When my other little one was on the way, even with my pregnancy complications, it was a quick, smooth ride to Mulago Specialized Women and Neonatal Hospital. Also, my new baby was able to make it through his first days with the help of specialized equipment thanks to the reliable electricity which has also been extended throughout the country. All this and more has been made possible because of you.
Join us and together let's do more for our country. Get your free tin at www.ura.go.ug.
Thank you for paying your taxes.
Uganda Revenue Authority. Developing Uganda together.
Enjoy convenience today with Airtel Money School Pay. Dial *185#, select option 6, School Fees, select option 2, School Pay, select option 1, Pay Fees, enter student number, enter the amount, enter the PIN number to complete payment. Beat the back to school hustle today. Pay school fees conveniently using Airtel Money. Airtel Money, simple, instant, secure.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hi, I'm DJ Drogba. On average, almost 250,000 people die on the road in Africa each year. As a proud African, this breaks my heart knowing that so many deaths could have been avoided. So when you're on the roads, follow these safe steps and help save lives. Drivers and pedestrians share the same responsibility of keeping themselves and others safe. Your eyes and ears are your best safety tools. Avoid using electronic devices that distract your attention. Stay on sidewalks. If there is no footpath, walk on the edge of the road facing oncoming traffic. At a road crossing, stop, look both ways, listen, and then cross. And please, never play in or near roads. So when you're on the roads, follow these safe steps and help save lives. We all have a role to play in road safety. Together, let's make Africa's road safer.
On behalf of the National Chairman, the NRM Secretary General invites the following categories of delegates to the second meeting of the 3rd National Conference on the 25th of January 2020 at Namboli Stadium. The invited are the 1st National Vice Chairperson, the 2nd National Vice Chairperson, the 6 Vice Chairpersons representing regions, members of the National Executive Council, NEC, members of the NRM Municipal Executive Committees, members of NRM on Municipal Councils, promoters of the NRM organization, executive committees of the NRM in the diaspora, NRM members of parliament or flag bearers, NRM members of the East African Legislative Assembly, members of the NRM Historical Leaders Forum, members of the National Executive Committees of all special organs, NRM chairpersons of districts or flag bearers, municipality mayors, members of NRM District Executive Committees, members of all District Executive Committees of all special organs, NRM members on district councils, and chairpersons of sub-county conferences. The public is hereby informed that no claims whatsoever will be entertained from any non-participants traveling to campaign.
Operation Wealth Creation is coordinating all government ministries, departments and agencies to unveil unique investment opportunities in every region of Uganda to local and international investors to transform subsistence farmers into the money economy. Operation Wealth Creation presents the Renzori Investment Expo, scheduled for the 30th to 31st of January 2020 at Mountains of the Moon University, Fort Portal City. Theme: Investment for Local Economic Development. This expo is one of the many regional investment expos anchored on agro-industrialization for local economic development, agri-led program, and will be held countrywide. Come explore investment opportunities in the Renzori region, from mining, tourism, agriculture, and many more. The guest of honor will be His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda. For more information, contact National Organizing Committee.
Welcome to the Equal Opportunities Commission, an independent statutory body that works towards ensuring that all forms of discrimination, marginalization, and unfair treatment are eliminated. The Equal Opportunities Commission has power of court and can enforce its decisions. It is established and supported by the government of Uganda. It also garners support from development partners, civil society, the private sector, faith-based, and cultural organizations. Visit the Equal Opportunities Commission today, the home of equal opportunities for all, or call us on our toll-free line 0800 100 440. This message is brought to you by the Equal Opportunities Commission with support from the United Nations Human Rights Office.
Welcome to Business News Tonight. Minister Tom Butime has officially assumed Ministry Officer succeeding Professor Ephraim Kamuntu, who was moved to head the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs in the recent cabinet reshuffle.
Honorable Ephraim Kamuntu, who handed over the tourism docket to Honorable Tom Butime, recommended that the current minister emphasizes on steady growth of the tourism sector by meeting the target of $2.7 billion revenue collection by 2023.
We believe this is achievable. We have also committed as our target for the sector to contribute to total employment of the country from the current nearly 8% to 10% of Uganda's labor force.
Minister Tom Butime pledged to expand the tourism sector.
We shall try to achieve what is immediate. What is immediate and what is demanded by the NDP, the National Development Program 3.
The outgoing minister said there are still challenges in the sector and singled out the development of human capital to sustain industry development.
Because one of the binding constraints in the developing the sector has been the human capacity gap. If you go to all these hotels, most of the managers are foreigners. Why? Because we have not trained Ugandans to that level of manning institutions.
State Minister for Tourism Godfrey Chiwanda and ministry staff promised that the sector will meet expectations of the government.
We want to welcome you. Feel at home. You've come in one ministry. We are moving as one, as I've mentioned before, and we are going to enjoy working with the Minister of Tourism.
The tourism sector contributed over 8% of Uganda's GDP and over $1.6 billion in foreign exchange earnings last financial year. I know that in your handover report, these milestones and the sector challenges are well articulated.
In the last 3 years, the tourism industry budget has doubled, contributing to Uganda's economic growth and covers 0.5% of the national budget. Penina Nawera, UBC News.
In sport, Vipers Sports Club has sacked head coach Edward Gorola and his entire technical team. The club confirmed the development just a day after they were eliminated from the Stanbic Uganda Cup by regional side Kajansi United. Vipers are expected to name the caretaker technical team soon that will take over until the end of the current season, while the club conducts a thorough recruitment process for a new full-time coach. Edward Gorola leaves the club after just a year of his service there, where he took over from Javier Martinez Espinoza. Gorola has been coach of Vipers for 19 games this season and has managed to win 13 games, 3 draws and lost 3 times. His loss to Sport Club Villa last week and the Uganda Cup exit didn't go well with his bosses, terminating both the coach contract and the technical team. He leaves Vipers at the summit of the Star Times Uganda Premier League table. Vipers travel to Mbarara for their next league fixture against Mbarara City early next week.
As we look for a coach with new ideas that can take the team forward, but
But we thank him for his services. Vipers is Gola and Gola is Vipers for the success he has given us along the way. Back then, he won us the Uganda Cup, he won us the league twice, and as assistant coach in 2017-2018. So he's been around. He's our man, and we thank him for his service and wish him all the best with his entire technical team going forward. I think in 1 week we'll name interim team that will take over until the end of the season. I really call upon our fans to stay calm, because yesterday when we lost to Kajas United, there was chaos at Wankukuku, and we condemn the acts as Vipers Sports Club. That's not how we behave. So we ask our fans to calm down. The issues won't be resolved, and we're back to winning ways.
Away from the Vipers camp, State Minister for Sports Samson Obua has vowed zero tolerance to corruption in the sports circles. The minister met all sports federations for the first time, formulating a plan that will see performance by the different federations. He called for unity, stopping infighting between federations, mainly over issues related to resource allocations.
And we concentrate on the game. And this is not my message. It needs stability. If there is no stability, we cannot be able to deliver this country in the different sporting disciplines where you are. Message number 2 is the question of performance. The president is demanding of us, including the new Minister of State for Sport, the National Council of Sport, Uganda Olympics Committee, the department, and all of you federations who are 51 recognized by government under NTS, that let's perform. Zero tolerance on corruption. I will not expound on that. As it is, zero tolerance on corruption. You try it, you will either be strictly liable or vicariously liable. Also, and you know, nobody is above the law. A former vice president of this republic was arrested and taken to Luzira. It is only a sitting president who is above the law, because you can't institute either civil or criminal proceedings against him. So all of us, no one is above the law, including Obua, the new minister. I am not. So this message is for you and me.
State Minister for Sports Samson Obua, they are meeting federations of different sports disciplines. Let's look at the weather forecast with Semper Alex here before we move on.
Of the weather forecast from the Weather Center only here on UBC TV by Semper Alex Kim. We are having sunny conditions across the country, though hazy because of the northern winds coming all through the Sahara into our region. Otherwise, tomorrow morning we should expect most parts of the country to have sunny conditions, apart from areas along the Lake Victoria Basin where we do expect some chances of rainfall, especially around Kampala and Masaka. In the afternoon, we do expect a continuation of rainfall activities in Kampala as well as parts of Mende. The rest of the country is expected to have sunny intervals. Well, this will affect temperatures to 33 degrees Celsius, which will be quite high in the northern, whereas Kampala is expected at 29 degrees Celsius, and in Kabale Highlands we are forecasting at 26 degrees Celsius. And elsewhere across the globe we are forecasting for Nairobi as well as Dubai sunny conditions, but Dubai is expected to be at 27 degrees Celsius as a maximum, whereas mist is expected to be in New Delhi at a maximum of 19 degrees Celsius. Amsterdam is expected to be only at 5 degrees Celsius as a maximum, but quite cloudy. That's it for today. Stay tuned to UBC TV.
Yes, let's have a reminder of the headlines and we call it an evening. Senior 1 selections have started with schools maintaining points as previous years. Kalangala fishermen have opposed army withdrawal from water bodies. Wuhan shuts public transport over an outbreak, while Vipers Sports Club have sacked head coach Golola and his entire technical team. This is all we had for you for now. We have a bigger arrangement at 10 p.m. Please keep around. Just enjoy our next program. My name is Michael Jordan Lukoma with Muhammad Bugalu and
this weekend on UBC.
Uganda is definitely rich and endowed when it comes to talent.